Okay, so welcome to the first Woke Salaryman podcast.
Yeah.
This is actually situated in our new office, which is a bit run down, a bit rabak, but I mean we're trying, and we didn't want to make too big of an investment because we don't want to.
We must live by the ideals that we preach.
Exactly. So live below our means, and we keep it conservative because for all we know, we might cease to exist in 3 months.
Yes.
Or the next week. Who knows?
I hope it's 3 months.
I hope it's at least 3 months.
One week is a bit soon.
Yeah, we don't last until the weekend. That's a bit.
It's
a bit sad.
I would not like the outcome.
Yeah, so welcome to the first episode of the Woke Salaryman Podcast. I'm Wei Choon. I draw most of the stuff that you see. This is Ruiming. He writes most of the stuff that you see. And then today we're going to talk about what?
FIRE, Have you heard of FIRE?
The primordial element of FIRE?
No. Like financial independence, retire early, that sort of FIRE.
So maybe you can describe and define what is the FIRE movement.
Okay, so the FIRE movement is basically people trying to retire, before conventional retirement age, which nowadays is 60, 65. I mean 60 and above.
65 is the state mentioned.
Yeah, the the state approved retirement age.
In Singapore.
Yeah, in Singapore.
Right.
But I think most people will gun for like 40 will be pretty early retirement.
So 40 counts as early?
Oh yeah, it counts as early.
50 not quite?
I would say 50 is like above average, but I would not call it like
early-ish.
super early-ish.
Right. Okay.
So the plan is to make a lot of money in your 20s, or even some people even start when they're teenagers, right? Save a huge proportion of that money, and then invest that money to get 4% a year. That's the
benchmark that you use.
There's some arguments on whether 4% is enough.
So what's the 4% rule?
So the 4% rule is the idea that if you have a bunch of money and you draw 4% of it every year, that amount can last you for 30 years.
So if I want to spend $40,000 a year,
yes,
I would need $1 million. Is that correct?
Yes. Sorry, I was doing the math.
That was the mathematical move.
This is basically plus.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is just a basic benchmark, right?
Because it's just
I think 4% rule. I've also read that it is good as a benchmark, but
it's not
don't
beyond
count on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the idea of FIRE. It was very fashionable pre-COVID because economy was very good. People were earning a lot of money. I think now the fire of FIRE.
The fire of FIRE
has like dampened. Has dampened a little bit, but I still think there are a lot of people still interested in it.
So you yourself, what is your thing with FIRE? Are you on the FIRE movement now?
I started off, wanting to do FIRE when I started off at like 25 years old. So
that was a long time ago. I'm not saying you're old. 10 years ago already.
Wow. Fuck you. No, no, I'm 32.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Ish.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So so I first started off at 25 years old. Then my mom had a stroke, and I thought like, hey fuck, let's save a lot of money and then we retire very quickly. Then I can sing lang a bit. You know what I mean? Sing lang means like relax a bit lah. Don't need to jaga like work, and if I wanted to look after my parents, I could also. I would have that option.
So we disagree. Not disagree lah. I mean like ultimately I understand where you're coming from with the FIRE movement, and I wouldn't want this to be like a debate. I take the stand of this, then I must argue all because I see the nuances also.
Sure.
But where we typically disagree is where to draw the line between the FIRE movement and whether it's worth it to advocate as a general advice, and we argue a lot about also the idea of retire. What does financial independence mean? Actually, financial independence, I think now that you mentioned the 4% rule, it's quite an objective thing to say. Like what I don't like is people say I want to get rich, because what is rich? Rich is a relative term. But if you talk about financial independence, that is an objective term that you just said. It's just that it is not certain, right? Because you can't predict what the future will be like. But it's interesting you mentioned your mom and the stroke thing, because I also think like actually in F.I.R.E, financial independence, retire early, right? There's no mention of financial independence to have enough cushion to be able to cover a loved one's emergency fund. You are kind of going a bit further with what FIRE is supposed to be. Because I think retire early. Sitting on a beach in Thailand, sipping drinks. That's what I think of. So how do you?
So for me, FIRE just means like financial independence, and then like retire early is like a bit optional. You know, okay, so my whole initial plan, right, was to save 500,000 by the time I was 35.
Okay.
Then I would live like a really, really frugal lifestyle after that. I will spend around 16667.
Wow. That's quite little.
Yeah, a month.
So including rent.
I will assume that I buy a house by then already. Like one of those like more affordable houses.
Right. Because I'm thinking rent, right? And
Yeah.
then like 1667.
No, so if you want to rent and you want to do FIRE, it's
really
insane.
hard.
You can't do it, man.
You think so?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Okay, so maybe I think it's worthwhile now to talk about the differences, the different kind of FIRE, because I read 3 different kind lah.
Yeah.
There's lean FIRE,
Yes.
there is fat FIRE,
Yes.
and then there's barista FIRE.
Yeah.
So
So barista FIRE is you can work. So the idea is that you have enough money and get some to supplement your income,
Yup.
your
can
FIRE
gig,
income,
right?
right?
Yeah,
you can gig, right?
Yeah.
So 1667 plus whatever a barista salary is will allow me to live like a less stressful life in Singapore. So that was the initial idea lah.
But
And
what
that's
was
barista FIRE.
your vision of this thing? So how does your mum stroke, coming back to that, relate to that? Like, is it really about your target lifestyle, or is it really also incorporating the fact that if something happened,
Yeah.
my frugality and the savings that I have would be able to
Yeah,
take care of it?
so my idea is that, you know, if my mom's situation does not deteriorate, right, I get to enjoy FIRE. I get to do like barista FIRE.
Oh, I see.
But then if my mom's situation needs more money, then whatever lah, I can stop this whole FIRE stuff
Yeah.
and just put the money back into my mom's.
Oh, so it's like either
Options lah.
would be great.
Yeah, always maneuver
Because
yourself.
either you chill, you
Yeah.
have the option of chilling for the
Yeah.
rest of your life,
Exactly.
or then you just, if something comes up, I can settle it. I get back to work.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
It's not I must retire by 35.
Yeah.
If not, I have failed in life, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like at the apex of this FIRE movement, it really was like that. And you see so many, I felt like especially CNBC make it really wrote on this very hard.
Yeah.
And for good reason. I mean, I don't think it's bad to feature people that have chosen a life goal and actually did it. And I think it's very inspiring.
Yeah.
But it's just, it felt a bit too much for me. That's where I come from. Particularly, I don't like this idea of retiring early. Especially if you talk about in your 30s or 40s. I feel like just to do nothing from then on is like a waste of your life.
Your potential.
Yeah, I feel like life is about creating value. And
Yeah.
actually, I don't really think most people who actually achieve it go on to then actually retire and do nothing. I feel like most people, right, they will get a taste of that and they do it for 2-3 weeks, right, they get bored already.
Yeah, I'm sure, cause I mean, you know, I do this like long distance cycling journeys, right?
Yep.
So usually for like the first 2 or 3 weeks is damn fun.
What is long distance, or how long would it
So
take?
for example, like Tokyo to Hiroshima,
How long would you take off to do that?
I took like 6 weeks off to do that.
6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks
That's
off.
more than a month.
Yeah, so during the first two to 3 weeks is actually quite short. Like, you know, you get to escape from Singapore.
The first 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, you escape like your work.
Yeah.
Then after a while, it's like, wow, actually I miss home and I feel like I need to do
Oh,
something.
you feel that?
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, I would have thought that you wouldn't feel that.
Really?
Because you always do these kind of things. That you
Yeah.
go on a very long term adventure. Like with me, whenever I go on a holiday, like
Yeah.
I also feel that, but I feel it very fast. Like
Ah.
4 days in, I want to go home.
Serious?
Yeah, 4
Oh.
days in.
Okay, if we go on a cycling trip,
Yeah, so
We
if
need to talk about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we cycle together nowadays in Singapore because I kind of really picked it up after the pandemic. But we always say like, after pandemic leaves, let's go and fly. So the idea was always that I will cycle with you,
Yeah.
maybe half or 1/4 of the journey.
Yeah.
Then maybe I meet my wife/fiance. Then we just do our normal tourism things, and
Yes.
then you will then go on to
go on
do
to the next
even
town
crazier
and
things.
do other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first 2 to 3 weeks is always great. It's
Yeah,
always like
yeah.
exploring yourself. But after that, it becomes like bittersweet. You enjoy, but this like feeling of like
wanderlust.
it like eventually fades. And I found like, you know, I don't think I can travel the world non-stop for like months at a time. I just
Yeah.
don't think I'm.
There are
that
people
sort
who
of
have done
person.
that.
Yeah, they can do it months at a time, but maybe they stop they do some work. So I think I'm more of that kind of person, cause like I think having a sense of purpose is quite important.
Right.
Unless my sense of purpose is it's like a race, you know.
Yeah.
I need to reach Russia by so and so date.
Right.
Then I think that will get me going.
Right,
But
right.
like
If it's just exploration,
exploration.
of yourself in a certain place.
I think I probably need some like stuff to do in between to just keep my mind active.
I see. But going back to FIRE, you are probably saying that you think if you embark and then you achieve it, then you just sit on Thailand beach somewhere, having cheap alcohol and drinking. You probably get bored quite fast.
I think that will kill me.
Will kill you?
Yeah, will kill me.
You think you just die early?
Number one, I don't like Thailand because very is a.
Okay, don't need to diss Thailand.
It's a tropical country.
Okay, right. Nothing to do with Thailand.
Nothing to do with
Singapore,
Thailand.
Malaysia, all also like that.
It's damn hot.
Right. I mean, whatever is ideal.
Yeah.
If you are in the mountains of the Swiss Alps, you also can do that only for a while, you think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's interesting because I also hear people say that about like nice cars. They say like actually ultimately a car has to go from A to B faster than like walking or taking public transport.
Yeah.
So like if you get a luxury car,
it
is a luxury car for like 20 minutes. I think
Graham Stephens, right?
Stephens said that it's a luxury car for 20 minutes, and after that it's just
a normal car.
So if you want to experience a luxury car, just rent it. So in a way, FIRE movement, I feel like if you want to experience retiring early, that's just a holiday, right? You just take a suitable holiday or a sabbatical.
Okay, so the thing about sabbatical, right? I feel being financially independent and then having the ability to retire early, I'll pick that over a sabbatical. I mean, if I were to be
wait, come again. So you rather be working but have the option of anytime I can zao.
Than having a sabbatical. So the thing about sabbatical I find like not so good is that there's a lot of opportunity cost. So even though you get a chance to like reset, and I mean there are a lot of benefits to sabbatical, but I find that usually only quite privileged people can take it. Not privileged from birth, but you have money, then you go.
Why?
So for example, if I earn let's say 3K a month, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fresh grad.
Yes.
Then I go and take sabbatical.
I take 3 months off.
Yeah, maybe 3 to 6 months off. After that, like I come back, I feel refreshed and everything.
Yeah.
Then, but the problem is still there. I still feel stressed from work. I still don't like my job.
I'm still a wage slave.
Yeah, because you have depleted your savings into nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. Typically, yes. If you only earn 3K.
But then if you are like, maybe you earn $100,000, then sure you can take a sabbatical. You know what I mean? Because by then you already have the option of stopping work already.
That's true, and there's also opportunity cost in terms of like if I'm in my 20s, I'm just starting on a junior role, I want to climb this corporate ladder thing. For me to take 3 months off might be really bad. In terms of like, first off, I would feel guilty like I'm leaving my colleagues, especially if I just joined a company. They'll be like, wow, he just come 1 month then he takes 3 months off. It wouldn't be that case. It would be like you've established a team dynamic and whatnot, then you just go like that. It will feel like, I'm leaving them in the lurch. I know that there's a lot of work. First off, there's that. And also, it's like the advancement side of things. It feels like there's a gap there. Like I lose momentum that I've been getting,
But just want to clarify, like, there's nothing wrong with sabbatical. It's just that I feel you should consider very carefully before you take it, because while it does have a lot of benefits, I mean, people always say like you discover a new point of view, different perspective.
Discover yourself.
You relax, but if doing all this but then like you come back, the problems are still the same. It won't solve your current problems.
I feel like for some people sabbaticals might be better than not. Like it's like, some people, army is good for them. National service is good for some people more than other people. I feel like especially one industry, for example, is that my fiance used to work in the film industry and the visual effects industry. So for them, right, it's very project based. And whenever there's a lead up to the delivery of a movie or game also, right? There's this period called crunch. And then after crunch, everybody will...
It's like a lull period.
Yeah, there will be typically like, I mean, sometimes people are just crazy, they go for another one. But that kind of industry, I think, very good for that, because you need it at that point of time, and then there's also a lull period where your producers are securing more deals before the work really starts to come in. So for that kind of situation, sabbaticals are better.
That's actually something I had in mind also. Like, I mean, once I achieve financial independence, I could opt to like, I also considered working 6 months, then slacking 6 months.
Oh yeah. I think I heard you say that last time.
Because advertising, last time advertising before COVID, there were a lot of like freelance copywriters going around. I think nowadays maybe not so much.
It's easy to just gig and then stop, and then gig and then stop. Right.
But to do it with financial backing means that you do it responsibly lah. Not you.
What do you mean financial backing?
Like with my own financial backing.
So you have
my own savings.
Your own savings.
Not like there's a trust fund that.
But what's the difference between
So for example, if you don't have money, you do it, then you're just running on a treadmill.
Oh, so it's like if something else was to happen, like a medical emergency, touch wood, then
Wood has been touched.
wood is there.
Yeah,
wood
wood
was
yeah.
touched. Yeah, so
Sad.
you don't know the mic.
Oh
dude.
fuck, sorry. I just want
See,
to
now
demonstrate.
you show people that there's a mic here. But never mind.
What's wrong with having a mic?
Okay, it's fine. Okay, whatever.
It's-
I'm. What you want? Forgot. We're talking
Medical
about
emergency, 6
medical
months,
emergency, and then so you're saying it's not responsible to yourself, lah.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
also your dependents.
I think whatever you do, you should. Okay, no, this is like.
Oh.
People say, okay, so I always try to maneuver myself into a better position. Hey, fuck off. I always try to maneuver myself into a better position so I can have options.
Right.
And I think.
Very wise. You just jumped over a whole bunch
Yes,
of
I
landmines.
just yeah, 1好的. Yeah.
你很厉害.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's like
maneuver yourself to get
maneuverability
into a better position. Because
Right.
I feel like if you kind of ignore money completely, you're like limiting your options.
It is very sexy though, right? To say, oh, I just went.
It
and
is,
then amazing things happen.
It is.
And then bad things happen, I dealt with it, and then I went again. You know?
Yeah, but this was the top catalog era,
I haven't caught Talk Catalog in
Like
so long.
all
Yeah.
these tech,
Yes.
tech.
Van life.
Yeah. Then they do all these things.
Yes.
And then after that, I don't know what happened to them, Like there was a period of time. I mean, for context, Talk Catalog was this like very popular American page.
They kind of disappeared actually. I haven't seen anything about Talk Catalog.
I mean, basically it's about like
Damn long.
YOLO, live life, enjoy
They're not
every
very
moment.
good during the pandemic, right? This kind of thing.
I think the thing about such exposing such lifestyle is usually only a certain bunch of people can afford it.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of sold, to me it seemed like they sold this dream of YOLO
That most people probably cannot afford.
Yeah, most people cannot.
So you either need to be super wealthy and privileged, or you need to live a very frugal lifestyle on the other edge.
Or you deal with the consequences.
Which is, for example, you might live in a van and then you don't have an address, this kind of thing. And then it's actually van life. I was into it for a long time.
Yeah.
Man.
I also didn't do it.
It's very rough, Like imagine having to be with. I argue with my fiance over small things,
Fiancé
even when
slash
we're
wife.
in a house. And we haven't married yet because of the pandemic, but I intend to, so don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, so imagine like even in a house with separate rooms, like sometimes I need my space. I just I need to be alone for a while.
I got no shower.
Yeah,
Take
in a
a
van.
shit. Take a shit also
Can
damn
you
hard.
imagine
Right?
in a van? So the couples that can pull it off, I don't even know if they're doing it now in the midst of the pandemic. Still,
Or maybe they do it for the gram.
gallivanting.
Right.
They do it for the gram. So that was the business model actually.
Yeah.
And there is a business model there. So actually you are still sort of wage slaved to the gram. You need to take the kind of shots that the other van lifers would take, that people will react to, like bikini and swimsuits, certain styles of shots, the sunshine, this kind of thing. So it's not just that nice also, unless you are super rich,
I just want to say it's also true that you must earn a certain amount of money before FIRE becomes viable. So what I'm trying to say is FIRE can also be quite exclusive in a way that it kind of is not accessible to people who don't earn above a certain sum of money. You know what I mean?
Yep. So how much money do you think is
Do I
good?
think,
So
like,
for
to
Singapore,
earn, right? Oh, I would think in your 20s, if you can hit 8,000 in your 20s,
I feel like it's a lot though.
it is a
Or
lot.
your 20s.
It is a lot.
How do you even do that?
I mean, there are people who do that, for example, recently, can't remember, some person bought a condo before they turned 30. So you can go like real estate, insurance, financial sector.
How many percent of people
tech sector.
in the 20s earn 8K?
Very, very, very low. Very, very low.
Yeah.
So, and obviously earning 8K is not it's not an easy thing to do.
But
Right.
that is not the only way though, I feel, because that is fat fire.
Yeah.
Meaning you earn a lot, then you can tank, right?
Yeah.
Then there's also lean fire, right? where you live an extremely frugal lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you can combine the two. But do you think we can frugal our way in Singapore, especially to fire?
I think in Singapore it can be challenging to frugal your way all the way up.
Right, because first of all, just cost of living.
Standard living is objectively quite high.
Yeah.
I think.
So basic rent, how much would you say? Like if you really try to save,
I think
but you stay by yourself.
Stay
how
by
much?
yourself.
Yeah,
I think you need at least like 1,003
Right.
to stay by yourself for rent.
No lah. I'm saying one room
for rent. Oh, you want one room?
Yeah,
I thought you
one
say stay
room,
by yourself. Okay,
I stay by myself in one room lah.
one room I think 500 can.
Okay.
But it is not so central area. So
Yeah,
of course there'll be trade-offs to be
Trade-offs.
made lah. You're right.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're earning not a lot of money, it can
It's
be
harder in Singapore.
It's very hard.
Yeah. In America, you can live in your car.
To the point where people will say, "Wow,
Yeah.
you damn kiam siap."
True. Yeah.
And
People
I think
judge
like
you.
this kiam siap thing, being judged is quite a big fear that a lot of Singaporeans have.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will do it lah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do tend to care about keeping up appearances.
About face,
And if it's not you, it's your parents. Then they'll say, "Ayo, what would the relatives say?"
Yeah,
You know. So yeah, I think it's hard in Singapore, but where I come from, Malaysia, I think it's a little bit more viable because there are suburban areas that you can move into. I think Singapore doesn't have a lot of true suburbs,
Yeah.
true outskirts.
Yeah. So that's a great point because when you live in a big metropolis.
Yeah.
In the US, you know,
Yeah.
you earn a lot of money. Okay, maybe you earn a lot of money in New York.
Yeah.
Then you want to move to Michigan,
Yeah.
where the cost of living is lower.
Yes.
Then still within the same country, same
Yeah.
currency,
Yeah.
but now your expenses are like half or something.
Yeah.
Your rent is half.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. In Singapore,
Where can you go? Pulau
yeah.
Ubin.
So I mean, of course you can argue that, you know, well, I moved from Orchard to Yishun, my rent will be high. I mean, of course,
Yes,
that is true, but
Yes.
most people would not have the money to live in Orchard in the first place.
Yeah.
So actually it's more like, you know, you move from maybe Queenstown to Sembawang.
Yeah.
Right, but that also won't save you a whole bunch
It's
of
like
money.
the range for you to play with is not so much.
Yeah.
So this is the lowest, this is the highest.
Exactly.
America is like that.
Yeah.
Right. New York, Michigan,
Yeah. So
Detroit, you know.
okay, so I think this combination of like the limitations of Singapore
Yep.
and the kind of sacrifice it takes to earn a lot of money in your
Yeah,
20s.
yeah.
It kind of makes it out of reach for most people.
So are you saying most Singaporeans shouldn't do FIRE movement?
Shouldn't or not, I don't think the word is should. I think it should be more like, I mean, we'll find it hard
They'll find it hard to do FIRE movement.
Yeah, and I think it's a not bad goal, but it's not the only goal that
Yeah,
people can have, right?
I agree. I think it's not bad goal,
Yeah.
and I think they should be. So we should, but I think FIRE movement still has its great advantages, and I love the fact that FIRE movement has been around and gotten so much attention because basically it is pushing for the abstract mindset of living lower beyond your means, below your means,
yeah.
and then trying to also earn as much as possible. And I think just basically speaking, as a rule that you universally apply, most people should do that. Which is basically what our side does. We are basically asking people to be more aware of finances and to be a bit more prudent.
Yeah.
Because actually, face it, most people tend not to be.
Yes.
Okay, you seem to disagree. You said yes in a way
No,
that said
no. I'm just thinking that
yes.
there are also the people who say like, money not important, blah blah blah.
Of course,
why you chase money so much?
And I'm one of these people.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you talk about messages to say to specific groups of people, you want to tell different groups of people.
I get
different
it,
things.
yeah.
I feel like 75% of people need to
Got critical
go
mass,
into the FIRE movement kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Not FIRE movement specifically, but
So
just,
they can chase financial independence, but they don't need to retire early lah.
yeah, it's not about retirement early. I think we all agree on that. FI is more important.
Yeah.
RE is an option.
Yeah.
So that's why I would rather not call it RE. And I have a lot of problems with RE actually. I have a lot of problems. We can talk about that later. But
Yeah.
I still think like 85% of the population we need to push for more people just generally to start saving more, start to invest, and then start to try to earn more money first, especially when you're young. Yeah. You certainly agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is what I've been saying.
I just want to stress this thing about. I mean, another reason why I pursue FIRE
No stress, yeah.
was because I also recognize that every human being has like a limited amount of working years. So your salary is like it goes up
Yeah.
in your 20s,
Yeah,
30s,
yeah.
then after that like somewhere around like the 40s,
Yeah.
it peaks and then it stagnates.
This is typically
for
what
most people lah.
for most people,
I mean
yes.
there will be those damn high flyer.
Of course.
They relevant
But
until
those are exceptions.
they are 90 years old.
Mm.
Like the Malaysian Prime Minister.
Yes.
That one time.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, actually that 2 times.
Oh yeah, 2 times Prime Minister.
Yeah. So but most people lah, their earning power will stagnate.
Yeah.
By the time they turn 40.
Yeah.
So effectively FIRE is like making hay while the sun shines.
Yep.
Then you reach then you have the option. You reach 35, you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then you have the option of retiring if you want to.
Yeah.
And you won't be held like hostage by like technological advances or young people stealing your jobs.
Right.
So that is also one strong motivation why I pursue FIRE also. Because there's no guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, even we run Woke Salaryman.
Yep.
Maybe this comic thing
Ends.
Yeah, maybe
everybody cards popping up and then we are just completely outstripped by a better one.
Maybe it's relevant for 2020 to 2022.
Yep.
Then and maybe this message is prophetic. Who knows? Yeah. But then like maybe by the time we are 35, earning power stagnate, then can't find job. Then how? You know what I mean? Having a lot of money saved up, having like a solid emergency fund, a fund that can even help you theoretically retire, will buy you the time and space to pivot lah.
Yeah.
To learn something new, to learn a new skill. And that's what I feel a lot of people don't do.
Yeah.
And let's admit it, like upskilling throughout the years has always been hard, right?
Especially for older people.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are relevant all the way?
It gets harder.
Right, maybe 30s you can upskill.
Yeah.
40s, how? 50s, how?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe today is TikTok. Maybe like in 2050 it's like TokTik or something. I don't know. Yeah, so you either upskill by learning the skill yourself, which is what a lot of people find hard to do.
Yeah.
Or you
you invest with the money that you have in somebody who's younger, hungrier, poorer, and then let him or her.
Yeah, because being rich is a great way to upskill, and it's quite timeless.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another motivation to
I
amass a lot of money.
I agree with that play. The only thing I don't like is FIRE movement. The name of it.
Yeah.
I just don't like FIRE because retire early. I just hate the idea, of just pushing people to get to retire by 40 and then just do nothing. Because for people who can achieve that kind of financial independence at that age, they're probably quite outstanding individuals in terms of their mettle, their determination, their fortitude.
I don't know.
Because I'm saying a word that you've not heard in a long time.
Yes.
Okay, because they got the power to do so.
Okay.
So you should apply that power to make the world a better place, to create more value, create a company, hire more people. So
unless they don't want to be caught up in all that. I mean, I also get it. Like, maybe after you hustle for...
I think it's inconsiderate. I just feel like, okay, do whatever you want. I don't think it should be illegal or whatever. I just think you have this kind of ability to achieve this kind of freedom and you just want to stop creating value, which is what retiring is in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, I also get your point of view.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it free will?
Free will, yes.
Maybe it just doesn't resonate.
Free will, yes, but I'm just afraid of the consequences of this taking hold, right? And then people all over the world want to do this. And then what will happen to the economy?
All people all over the world can't do this.
They can't do it first of all, but I just feel like you shouldn't be encouraging the people that are able to create the most value, right?
Yeah.
To eventually one day stop working. Because in my mind, right, here's what retirement is. Retirement means, right, I'm running away from something, and the thing I'm running away from is 9 to 5-ery. It's wage slavery. And I think that's okay as a level 1 kind of thing. But I think the ultimate thing should not be I'm running away from something, but I'm running towards something. It should be more of, I like the way you said it, because you had a clear target in mind of the situation that you want to be in. That's what you're going towards.
Yeah.
But I just hate the idea of people embarking on it. Is okay. It's okay to hear about FIRE movement and be so sick of my 9 to 5, right, that I started. But if you end it still just avoiding working as a full stop, right, I think that is extremely harmful. And I think especially the most capable people of your generation shouldn't do that.
Well, I will argue like the most capable people of your generation won't be convinced by FIRE anyway.
Why?
Because
I'm not talking about ambitious, I'm not about capable. Means they can do it, but they might not want to do it. I
kind of feel like the really, really outstanding people, like let's say the futures
Elon Musk,
whatever, they would do it anyway.
Elon Musk,
they will never start working.
Elon Musk, I don't even think he does it for the money. Maybe he did it when he was in his PayPal days.
Yeah.
But after he did the PayPal, he's not even retiring and he don't care. He don't care about money anymore.
It's like his project, right?
But he's just not fired. He did not retire.
Yeah, I know. He's definitely financially independent.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I just really don't like the idea of retirement early. I mean, I get it. I spent all night trying to think of a nicer financial independence, something. That is not RE, and FIRE is great.
Yeah.
It's such a great analogy. It's a fire. It lights a fire under your ass.
Yes.
It's hot. It's hard to carry. It's difficult to do.
Yes.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better one. Like the closest one I thought of was, I think it was FIMAI. FIMAI. Financial independence, make an impact. So in my mind, right, what is the good thing to do is that you get financial independence, so you can stop worrying about money and you just start thinking about impact.
Alright.
That is what I think.
FIMAI it is.
But FIMAI sucks. I mean, it's a stupid thing to say.
Sounds like
The FIMAI movement. It's not a female.
It sounds like, hey, what's wrong with female?
No, not that female is stupid. It sounds like another word that has no meaning whatsoever. FIRE is great.
It sounds like dim sum. Hey,
Hey, auntie,
auntie,
FIMAI.
两个 FIMAI 可以吗？
FIMAI.
加辣椒。
Yeah, FIMAI. Let's make it a thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a copywriter, so I can't.
Sure.
think.
Maybe FIMI, just drop the
What's
A.
FIMI? Oh, FIMI. Oh.
Yeah.
Financial independence.
Make impact.
Impact.
Yeah.
Make impact.
Yeah.
I think that works too.
Yeah.
I would much rather that one. So
Sure.
the end goal is always
FIMI.
me. Make impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
And financial independence is the means that you make impact, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when I started thinking about like my financial journey, it was also motivated by RE. Like I just hated 9 to 5 wage slavery. And it's not even that I hate 9 to 5, it's the fact that I had to go 9 to 5. Because when we first started, we eventually quit our jobs to do this full time now. So what I found was that when I first quit, right, I'm like, wow, I'm free now, I can work whenever I want. And I tried all kinds of different shit out. Like I was a big fan of Hunter S. Thompson. And then his schedule, if you look at his schedule, is ape shit crazy one. Like he would wake up in the afternoon and then go and drink and then shoot things and then start working at 4 a.m.
Wait, is he a photographer or did
writer.
he invent like the Thompson machine gun that was used in World
Okay,
War
then I don't know.
Alright.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I know what you mean, the mafia.
No, the Thompson machine gun.
This is the Thompson.
SMG, World War II, you play those Call
I
of Duty.
don't pay attention to him. But I don't think so, yeah.
Alright.
I think he's a writer. So he would write at very odd hours. And,
Yeah.
I tried that, so I would draw at very strange hours. I mean, Ruiming also didn't quite care because as long as we got the work done, we got it done. And you also have quite weird hours sometimes.
True.
So I went like from 9 to 5 to sleeping at 5 a.m. And then working late in the night because it's so quiet.
Yeah.
But then like I tried all these things out and then I defaulted back to 9 to 5. Now I'm doing 9 to 5 again.
Yeah.
It's just that it's my own choice. So I started running away from something that I thought was the problem.
Yeah.
Then discovering that actually that's not the problem. There's a reason why that structure is that structure.
The problem is
returning to it. The problem is the
meaning,
slavery aspect
meaning?
of it. Not meaning.
Hey, careful with how you slavery. Okay. The way slavery.
By slavery I mean wage slavery I mean I have to do this.
Yes.
I felt like I didn't have a choice because
Yeah.
if I stopped doing this, there will be a lot of upheaval. I might not be able to pay my mortgage, things like that. Yeah, that is the aspect that I didn't like. Not 9 to 5. I thought it was 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because the surface things that I hated was having to wake up. I gotta wake up.
Maybe it's also
7
like
a.m. I gotta cram on the train with other people.
it's about impact also. Like maybe you felt like you did not do as much impact in your previous role. Like did they play a part?
Not really, because I was always able to be interested in what I was doing. So before I quit my job, I was working as a marketing person at a medtech firm doing urology and erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
I just found it interesting. I was able to find it interesting, and I always had this understanding that job is not supposed to be fun. What is making it difficult was the 9 to 5ness of it and the fact that I had to do it. I don't mind doing stuff that I think is meaningless to me because to other aspects of the organisation, even for what we do at the Woke Salaryman, I'm willing to take up to 60% of things that I just don't like to do and I think it's stupid for me. But I'll just do it because the organisation needs people to be able to take on
That's fair.
a bit of nonsense. It'll be a bit of fluff here.
Just go through the motion to do something.
It's part of the thing.
I mean it's part of the
thing. So
business.
impact was not a big deal for me then. It was just I just hate waking at 7 o'clock. And having to do the commute. It killed me. Then I ran away from it and then actually I like this structure.
True.
Now that I have the freedom, I'm coming back to it again.
So I mean it might sound like we are bashing 9 to 5 but like please
Definitely
be assured like no such thing, like I don't think self-employment is for everyone and there's merit to being an
you
employee.
raise families
so,
doing it, you can create immense value as valuable members of the team and I'm not worried about Woke Salaryman failing because worst come to worst, I go back 9 to 5 and I'm not scared of that. I just didn't like to do it because I had to do it.
Got it.
And I felt like I wasn't
Exactly,
in
so
any position
you're
to
looking
negotiate.
for choice, right?
Choice. Maneuverability.
Yeah, maneuvering yourself into
As
a
you
better
said.
position where you can make choices.
Yes, exactly. So do you think you're close to... Are you still on it? Are you still impressed?
So before we started Woke Salaryman, I was still on the path to FIRE.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after we started this, and I find like, you know, it's quite a, we would say like IKIGAI, right? Yeah, it's like a meaningful way to make money, and you know, you also do good, and we're also pretty decent at it.
So let's explain IKIGAI first.
Yeah.
Right? It's a Japanese concept, right?
Yes.
It's a Japanese concept.
I'm gonna show the chart here.
It's like a Venn diagram chart. This Venn diagram is the circle overlapping thing.
It's a Venn diagram.
Right, so it's 4 things that if you have all 4 things, you are in a perfect balance of meaning in work and then also life. Something like that.
And money.
And money. Yeah. So it's 4 things. The one is that you like doing this thing.
Yeah.
The world or society will benefit from you doing this thing.
Yeah.
This thing can pay you money.
Sure.
And you are good at doing this thing. So that's the 4 circles.
Yeah.
And we feel like this is so far, to me at least, the closest I've been to Ikigai.
Yeah, and I mean we've tried a lot of jobs. So yeah, for me this is indeed the closest. So right now I do have the options of retiring if I wanted to.
Oh wow.
On 1667 on 1667. But
Nice.
I mean I also hang out with you, and I always like how purpose driven you are, and you know how you always say, oh, it'll be a waste if you people retire early, blah blah blah. So maybe in a way you also psycho me or influence me. So now I kind of see it like differently. I would like to work in a job that has meaning for as long as possible, but also have the option to
But
leave
that's a
when I want to.
luxury.
Yeah, that's certainly
That's a luxury that he can afford, and me to a I think lesser extent because I've saved less than him.
Yeah.
That we can sort of afford it because our financial situation has been stabilized because we did the things that we had to do to earn a lot and save a lot.
Yeah.
So I still think, as much as I don't like the FIRE movement, I think the basic idea of it and the mindset can only help young people.
Yes.
I feel like young people all over should adopt these things.
Maybe there are some extreme FIRE things that you shouldn't do.
Okay. Yeah, there's some extreme things that I remember quite worried for you at one point also, because I was always asking Ruiming, like, what is your enough point?
Yeah.
How much money do you need to have before you say, okay, I'm done now? Then I chill, because this dude he hustles like crazy or not. He works very hard, and there was a point of time also he was damn near working 2 jobs while working at Woke Salaryman. Not the 9 to 5 thing. It's like after that, even when you quit,
I think
he started his own
there
agency.
was 3 jobs at once.
Yeah, it's crazy like how hard this guy works. So he's working for something in his head. But I'm just worried that he keeps pushing. So it's like that famous quote by Nietzsche that I just love. You know, like if you stare into the abyss stares back into you. If you fight monsters, you might become a monster as well.
Yeah.
So to me, sometimes it seems like I am calling out to you, and I just see you walking into the abyss. So if you imagine like a medieval fantasy kind of thing,
yes,
we live in a village, and the village we can go out as warriors and hunt normal boars and monsters and stuff. You know, like just normal monsters. But you can also choose to go into the abyss.
Yeah. And
the abyss is freaking dangerous.
Yes.
But the loot that you get from the abyssal monsters, is out of this world, quite literally, because you are going multi-dimensional in terms of your danger. So it felt like you always kept going deeper and deeper into the abyss. And I felt like at one point he might go so far, that when I call out his name, he cannot hear me, then he just keep walking. and that is something that I always push and say to people who have already achieved. So that's why I say different messages for different people. You can't say this to people who are at the bottom who realistically need to hustle. So you have to be very careful about what you say to who.
Also understand the context of who is saying the message, right? Yeah. I mean, you can't just take Woke Salaryman content like, oh my god, this is the Bible, listen to it. Yeah. No offense, Viv is a Christian, so I used to work Bible, so I just want to apologize.
It's okay, it's fine.
Alright. Yeah,
so going too deep into it, that's one risk.
Yeah.
The other one is like scrimping and saving.
No, I say one more thing first. It's not just going too deep into it. Sometimes people, that's why I'm very wary about running away from something. And I feel like sometimes people just get caught up with the idea of how can I earn money? How can I earn money? How can I earn money? But you're asking that question in the first place because you're running away from something. But if you ask that question too much, that becomes your mantra, and your whole identity becomes how can I earn money? Not what can I do? Like what do I want to earn money for?
Yeah.
Is that exterior thing, this idea of ikigai, that is very important, this macro reason of why you're doing it. The reason cannot be I just want to earn money. And if that just becomes your reason, you just keep walking into a business.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you end up with a lot of money and you don't even know why you even do this.
So we published something like last year, you came out with it, right? Like money can buy happiness. Yes. So it's about knowing what will bring you happiness and how much
you need.
How much you need for that goal. So I think the example we gave was like a pangolin reserve. To raise pangolins. And
it's a noble goal.
Yeah, it's a noble goal, but it doesn't pay well, and you cost around like 3 million to run a pangolin reserve. So yeah, I think 3 million would be your end point.
Yeah.
So I'm quite fortunate that my lifestyle isn't that extravagant. My lifestyle isn't, or my goal isn't that expensive that I'll need 3 million.
Yeah.
So
but by all means, right, there's such a real possibility that by the time you reach your conservative enough point, you might shift again. So, hey, now that I have 600k, maybe I can start a pangolin reserve. Then you move it to 3 million. I think that's also fine. Because you still have your macro.
You still have your purpose.
You're just moving it. Yeah,
you still have your purpose.
That's fine. I'm just afraid of people that like really get so down into the money thing and they immediately see the rewards and the alleviation of, for example, if I come from a poor family, I start earning some good money. I completely understand why somebody might go, wow, hey, this is damn shiok. Like in me chasing this immediate thing of earning money, it has brought me such happiness. Then they just abstractly chase this idea of chasing money, and eventually that will just lead to nothing. Because there's no goal.
So that's one, you overdo the chase for money. You get addicted to the hunt. Then the other one is you niam too much. You kiam siap too much. So this is like when you.
What is kiam siap?
So when you try to spend as little money as possible, like live on 200 a month or something.
Like you almost become like cheap.
The stereotype that the Americans have of FIRE is that they eat beans, rice and beans.
Right.
Because beans still give some protein, ma.
Right.
So I think anything that will cause you like long term health impact. Is not worth it.
I mean, in Asia it will be instant noodles.
Like the Indomie. Sorry, I love Indomie also, but
Indomie is great.
It's unhealthy.
You put some other things in it. It's
So if you eat only Indomie, then it's cheap out. Then maybe you have like miserable life. Don't go on any holidays. Don't have any ways to relieve stress. I think all these will have like long term impact.
True.
And I know this because I have actually done it for like 2 years.
Yes.
2 years living as cheaply as possible. Oh, it's just not sustainable.
And I've noticed the change as a friend to see you in your hustle period. Like because Ruiming, I've known Ruiming before all this FIRE thing. I knew him from school, so he's a very funny guy. Very witty, fast. But when he's in the hustle mode, right, a lot of that brightness goes away because you are just putting all of it here.
Mine is too occupied on other stuff already.
It's very occupied on other stuff, but it's also the general dulling of social.
I mean, it's not fun.
interaction.
It's not fun.
Not that it's not fun, it's that I see that brightness has gone away. And it would be a shame, right, if you chase this so much that you can't ever get it back again. Because the world will lose the bright Ruiming.
Oh wow, okay. Now it's getting awkward and I don't know how to behave. Okay.
Just say thank you.
Alright. Okay, thank you.
So I'm glad that you didn't just go all the way into the abyss and then we lose Ruiming.
Yes.
Ruiming has returned.
I have returned. Surprise.
He still goes in now and again.
But I mean,
but he got string all that. We can pull him back.
It is stressful, like, cause I did a lot of freelance jobs as a freelance writer, and I'll just get anxiety. So every morning I wake up, the first thing I do is check my phone and look at all the client feedback that came in
over the night.
And like,
is it coming in over the night? You're doing international clients.
No, I like, for example, you sleep at 2, then the agency people also work them intense one. Then after that, like, the feedback comes in, you edit it by 10 a.m. We need to send the client. Well, then it just gives me an anxiety. And even now, like, I have some anxiety attacks. Like sometimes I'll wake up, right? I'll wake up and the dream that wakes me up is receiving a text saying like, hey, you're late to the Zoom call.
Oh my goodness, really?
You're late to the call. You're late to the call.
It's not even monster.
It's not a monster.
Abstract, like falling, some people are falling. It's an email.
I just wake up, whoa. Then like, oh, there's no meeting.
But that's genuinely terrifying. Like,
it's quite terrifying.
I'm supposed to be on a call 15 minutes ago. Oh shit.
It's quite bad one.
Right.
But now it hasn't happened for like a couple of months now. So.
But do you know any cheapskates over there? Like, did you feel like you became a cheapskate in this process? Well, I get water. You can say.
Okay. Did I feel that I became a cheapskate? So obviously I am the protagonist of my own story. So obviously I don't feel like I have been a cheapskate, but I do think...
I think nobody feels like they're NPC, right? That would be damn sad.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some people do feel like NPCs. Okay, but there have been people who felt like, I was overdoing it. And I can see why. And Yeah lor. I just
But
have
but
to,
if you could do it again, you will still do it.
I will still do it.
Right.
Because I think it was like I think it's worth it like, in retrospect, especially taking into account last year's pandemic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were struggling financially.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was like,
It's a good
okay.
point.
So people always say, wow, you work so hard. What if one day you suddenly drop dead and die? So yes, that chance exists. All in all, I felt like it was worth it lah. Cause nothing to my body is like not permanently damaged. So I can still come back from that. I mean, if I did it to the point where I had like a stroke, then I can't move like my face.
Yes.
Then I would think that is a bad trade-off.
Yeah.
But I think at the level that I did was quite the optimum amount. So I hustled for.
You took on the risk
Yeah.
and it didn't.
I think it was like
result.
a 6 or 7 year.
Yeah.
7 year period.
Right.
But I feel any longer will be pushing it already lah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
So you must always hustle sustainably instead of,
Yeah. So for people
yeah.
who actually take this on, I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be tougher than you can probably imagine it.
And also quite lonely, yeah, because
Lonely.
you have to be a bit of a social path to do it lah. Like
Because it's
a bit.
against social norms.
Yeah.
Right?
Not a lot of people understand you. So
Yeah, you were saying just now the pandemic during the past. Yeah, I felt like, reading about people who have done FIRE and are able to have successfully done FIRE or at least embarked quite successfully halfway through FIRE, right?
Yeah.
You try to find horror stories about them. Actually, during the pandemic, there's not a lot. The horror is not really very scary.
I think the horror is like.
I see paper losses. Okay,
I
don't check.
think the horror is like, haha, you cannot retire early.
Yeah, my plans for early retirement is disrupted.
Yeah, but then actually, you look at the person that has pursued FIRE.
Yeah.
They have built up connections.
Yeah.
They have built up the skill
Yeah.
to earn that kind of money.
Yeah.
Then you just continue earning that money.
Yes,
like
yes.
It's not a big deal.
You adapt to it. You are certainly in a relatively better
Yeah.
position, even though everybody is dragged down a little bit.
Yes, and
Some
of
more
course,
than others.
of course, you are in some discomfort, but when you
Well, compared to other people, it's not.
Yeah.
I was reading one. Is like it almost reads like a first world problem kind of thing. Like, well, I had to train myself not to look at my stocks because it's just paper losses lah. But I gotta not look at it because it makes you depressed. That's it.
Yeah.
Paper losses.
Yeah.
They wait long enough, probably will go back up. Man. So
So all in all, I think it's a fair trade-off, and I probably will not do anything differently. Let me think.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
think we need to frame it in a different way. I really hate RE. I mean, FEMA is not ideal. Like,
Feed me.
Feed me also, I think a bit weird. It sounds like feed me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like we put
because-
some copywriters on it. We come up with
Yeah.
something snazzy, and then we can
Yeah.
start the next movement. And it's more about making impacts.
Yes.
So we'd like to take this chance to thank our first and only fake sponsor, Huat Trading.
Yeah. So Huat Trading is a trading company that trades in ideas and fiction. So it has over 170 outlets across the island. They deal with.
They don't exist, but there's 100.
Yes.
There's a
They
lot,
have 170 non-existent stores.
Yeah.
They do anything for like sexual fantasies, financial fantasies,
Yes.
basically any kind of fantasy. Huat Trading deals with all this.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out your fantasy, you can always do so on ahuattrading.org.
Which does not exist,
Yes,
but
yes, and if you use the promo code AHUAT20, you can get 20% off.
yeah, I personally have used some of Huat's kind of services. I don't even know what call it. I can't call it products because they don't tangibly exist.
Yes.
The services also don't exist, but I've used it before.
Yes.
And it has helped me really get a grip on I mean that's a wrong thing to say. Get a grip on some of my fantasies to help me fantasize things realistically, sustainably, and make sure I do it responsibly as well, so I don't hurt myself and the ones that I love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Huat Trading.
Thanks, Huat Trading. Wow, really great for the non-existent sponsorship. Like we appreciate all this
Yes.
non-existent money that you're giving us to do this sponsorship.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was our first episode. Tell us what you want to see in the
In the
future.
future, yeah,
episodes so that
we'll
we
be
can
glad
talk about.
to take into account your feedback.
We don't argue a lot
Yeah.
because we try to be quite balanced about things, but we will passionately.
If you
talk
want us to
about
argue, it's also possible.
also possible.
Yeah.
We're willing to fake arguments.
You let us know.
Yeah. So thanks. See you guys. in
Yes.
the
See you
next-
guys next time.
Yes. Bye. And
Bye.
stay woke salary.
Yes.